What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Studying Cinema with Cozy. I know we're a day late with this one, but bear with me, you feel me? Grad school just started back up, so I'm handling that. But today we're going to be diving into a movie that is a classic, you feel me? Within the black community, y'all know what it is, and that's Waiting to Exhale, starring Whitney Houston, Angela Bassett, Loretta Devine, and Layla Rochon. I ain't gonna lie, this movie is directed by Forrest Whitaker. I ain't know that until recently, you feel me, after, watching it again for the first time in a long while. But, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, this is a very interesting movie, watching it as a 25-year-old now, after seeing clips and whatnot throughout the years as a youngin', you feel me. I never really cared too much for this movie to really watch it all the way through. But now, with me, being interested in movies as well as doing these movie reviews, diving into this movie, I was open-minded to everything that I was about to experience and the ups and downs that these women go through with these relationships is crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. I know a lot of movies like this like to, take the time to quote-unquote bash men. At least that's how some people may view it. But I don't really look at it like that, you feel me? This is just one of those, pleasant, comedic, quote-unquote romantic in a sense type of movies, chick flick type movies, you feel me? It tells a story about four ladies that's going through their trials and tribulations within their lives when it comes to relationships and dealing with men. All of them are in different stages in life, career-wise and, socially. In a sense, you feel me? They're all friends, but, they're all living different lives in a sense. And with that comes different types of men that they're dealing with. So we see, Angela Bassett's character start off living a good life with her husband, about to embark on a night out with him until he comes in and tells her that, he going out, but just not with her. He finna leave her for a white woman, which turns her up, you feel me? Sets the whole movie off. That's really one of the main plot points right there. Angela Bassett going through her whole phase of being a scorned woman and overcoming it. You feel me? It has one of those classic scenes with Angela Bassett tearing up the closet, setting the car on fire and everything. I ain't gonna lie, whatever camera, I know it's the 90s and whatnot, but the way that this movie looks, I've seen a lot of movies from the 90s, especially, black films. The black films during the 90s have a certain feel and a certain vibe and a look. But this movie right here, I don't know if it's the fact that it's shot in Arizona or what, but it just looks and feels very, crisp, you feel me? It's very vibrant and fresh in a sense. I don't know. But besides that, you feel me? You see Angela Bassett go through her whole arc, you feel me, with getting divorced and being a single mother, having to, deal with the fact that her husband left her for another woman, and she has to, raise these children on her own because she's not going to allow another woman to raise them. You feel me? She ain't going to go for that. But also just dealing with, finding someone else that's really going to be able to fill in that void in a sense. And then we have Loretta Devine. She's a woman who has a grown child at this point, 17 years old. And, her man is basically out of the house, you feel me? I guess they split up a while back. The son mentioned that he only really see his father once every 2 years, you feel me? They ain't really nothing for real. But it turns out that her ex-husband is actually bisexual, you feel me? That's why he wasn't really, looking at her the way that, turns out that her ex-husband is bisexual, and that's why he wasn't really interested in her the way that, she initially assumed. And that was a part of the decline in their relationship as well. So, I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of, a difficult pill for her to swallow. It's not necessarily one of those plot points that's stayed on as much as, Angela Bassett's plot point, but it's there to let you know that, it's something that, people deal with in real life. All of these situations are situations that people deal with in real life. None of these are real, over exaggerated situations because they're all realistic from my standpoint. But yeah, she has to go through her tribulations with that, dealing with a son that has to kind of grow up without a father figure for a lot of his life because of that, and also finding out that his father is, not a straight man during the 90s, you feel me? This ain't the 2000s, the 2020s, you feel me? During the 90s it's a whole different vibe, so you can already understand, the whole essence with that. But it's just you know, she's still looking for something. Everybody in this movie is looking for something to fill a void or looking for, true love in a sense, you feel me? So she ends up meeting a guy that moves in next door to her, and they go on their journey into their relationship. Then you have Whitney Houston's character, who to me seems like the most accepting of her situation. She's the one that, she knows that she may not get married. She knows that she's running into guys that, at first they seem like her type until she really gets to know them. She's not really finding a person that she's not really finding a person that's meeting her standard and checking all of the boxes. Her I don't know if it's an ex-husband or ex-boyfriend, whichever one, tries to come back into her life to rekindle things. But, he's one of those guys that's just saying the right thing just to say the right thing so he could get what he want. Not to really stick around for the long term or really mean anything that he's saying. So she's seeing through a lot of the stuff that, the guys in that... She's seeing through a lot of stuff that the guys that she's dealing with is trying to put out there. And she's also seeing through a lot of stuff that her friends are dealing with too when it comes to these guys. Like, she's on the phone with Robin in a lot of scenes, giving her advice or trying to help her with her game, you feel me? So Whitney Houston's character is one of those characters that's more so like... She's one of the more self-aware characters in this film, you feel me? And they kind of use her as the person that's like, how you have that one friend that's, always self-confident, doesn't really let anything faze them too much, doesn't really let anything bring them down too much. She's that friend in the group. Then you have Robin. Robin in the movie, man, Layla's character, she, I don't know, at first, it was hard for me to really understand Robin. Because you see her dealing with a man that you know that she's not really interested in. But it's like, why? I don't understand if Robin, in the beginning of the film, was just looking to feel something or trying to, experiment and date different people to see what, they would offer. But it just seemed like in the beginning that she didn't really know what she wanted. And we saw that she was dealing with a guy that, still had an old situation. But I don't know, with Robin, it was just all three of the guys that she was dealing with. Troy, I forgot the other two, but all of them was not even up to her standard by any means, you feel me? Especially Troy. Troy brought her to a coke party and showed up to her apartment drunk, trying to bring her to his mama crib 2 hours late, you feel me? None of the guys that she was really seeing was her type, you feel me? She might have been attracted to them in different ways. She always said, like, so-and-so and so this, but this. It's like she always tried to find the positive in the person, you feel me? And, some people do that. It may work in some situations, but when you see them first red flags, you gotta just duck and dodge, you feel me? She saw a red flag in the first guy with just the way that he was moving, you feel me? The way that he was coming. And then, you seen how that relationship played out. Didn't really end well, was kind of awkward. Ended up dealing with Troy, brought her to a coke party. She already had her notions about him before they even went out to this party when it came to him smoking and just his character and everything. So off rip, she already know that this dude ain't really her type. He bring her to the coke party, boom. She even more turned off because of all of that. She ain't really about that life. but it's just the little stuff that he's saying, you feel me, that's, sweeping her off her feet for the little quick one time. But when all of that is done, when that facade is over with, like, who you really dealing with? You dealing with somebody that's unreliable. And then when you talking about the dude that got the baby mama, you feel me, he just coming around like you his side piece, you feel me, like he's still dealing with his main John, and he not really, he's saying that he divorcing her, you feel me, he trying to get out of the relationship, quote unquote, but you feel me, he's just going with the motions. You could obviously see that he just going with the motions. So she already know, like, none of these dudes is really fitting her mold, but she dealing with it. But out of all of them, I feel like I said, Whitney Houston's character is the most headstrong and the most sure about herself in terms of what she wants. She's just not really meeting the requirements. She's not finding anybody that's meeting the requirements, I should say. But overall, the movie, I feel like the bonding that we see between these four characters, man, is something that's natural. I feel like the one scene with them, having that little sleepover when they all sitting down talking and just bantering, you feel me? That's real conversation that you hear amongst your aunties and your cousins, whatever the case may be. So it's all natural and it's all real. And I feel like these situations, like I said, are still realistic situations. Angela Bassett got divorced, and you feel me, she resented her husband because he left her for a white woman. She ended up meeting Wesley Snipes' character at the bar and had to use that whole situation and that whole night as a way to forgive herself, forgive her husband, and to simply move on. And initially you may not look at that scene and think too deeply into it, but him revealing that his wife is dying and she's also a white woman and he's in love with her, it's like, her husband left her for a white woman, but her husband did not love her or care for her the way that Wesley Snipes is caring for his wife. And no matter what, he doesn't really break the promise of, sleeping with another woman on his wife and, just moving any type of way. Unlike her, Angela Bassett's ex-husband, who, did the total opposite and was in a happy marriage. So yeah, she had to, forgive herself, like I said, forgive everything, because Wesley Snipes brought it to her like this, like, yo, you feel me, my wife, she's sick, she's dying, I still love her, you feel me, I haven't really slept with nobody else since, she got sick like this. I'm really just trying to coast out with her because ain't nobody else really finna replace her, you feel me? But she respected it. She was looking for that type of love from her ex-husband, and she let go of the fact that, all of the other stuff, like my husband left me for a white woman, this or that. She just let go of that. Came to realize that there's something deeper that, she could grow from with this whole situation. And she did, obviously her and Wesley still kept in touch, you feel me? They don't really explain whether or not by the end of the movie if they really, really kept in touch, you feel me? But the thought is there to let you know that experience helped her grow and helped her, really move on in a sense. I like to see those type of aspects play out in the movies like this, like, something simple and something realistic, not something that's just overdone, drawn out. But for this to be a movie directed by Forrest Whitaker, I'm surprised because I never really paid attention to his directing history. I only know him for acting. I don't really know. I probably do know some movies that's directed by him, but just haven't realized it. With this being one of them ones, I do gotta say I understand why people enjoy this movie. The soundtrack too. Soundtrack is one of the top soundtracks from like any movie that I've heard, to be honest with you. Between this and Brown Sugar, I would think around that era, like those are the two of the best soundtracks from that era. Waiting to Exhale, it's a classic movie. You feel me? What can you say? You got the dynamic of all four ladies coming together and balancing each other out. And these actresses do a great job of embracing these characters for who they really are and showing us, just how real it could get when you're dealing with a relationship. There's a lot of layers to things, and some people move on easy, some people don't. Some people have it easier than others when it comes to dating. Some people just end up being alone, but they end up still living a happy life. There's different outcomes for everybody, but you shouldn't subject yourself to the next person's outcome. Everyone has their own life to live and their own journey to partake on. And the people that you meet along your journey are meant for you, whether they stick around or not. We see these four ladies just accept that in the end. They go along their journey. They do a lot of self-reflection. The men that they deal with that are willing to stick around do the self-reflection as well. And you see them grow in a healthy way. Now, you could say that there's parts of this movie where you feel like, there could have been an extra scene here, or this scene could have been taken out and replaced with more of this. But I feel like throughout the whole film, you get the sense that you're actually there with these people, and you get the feeling that they're actually growing throughout this whole movie and not just staying stagnant. The conversations that they're having are not just wasteful conversations. Everything is kind of intentional in this movie, from, the set pieces, the dialogue, the costume, the way that the actors have their haircuts and everything. Everything is intentional, you feel me? So with this movie, I definitely feel like it's a great watch. Definitely a great watch for any type of occasion, really. If you got family over, friends over, you with your girl, if you, just wanted to watch something just to watch something, you feel me? It's an entertaining movie. Like I said, it got Whitney in it, you feel me? And I ain't gonna lie, Whitney Houston is a good actress, you feel me? She's one of the better artists that, dove into acting from that era. Because there's a lot of them that tried, but not a lot of them that really did well. And kind of did it in the sense where you could kind of separate their acting from their singing, you feel me? When I was watching this movie, it wasn't like I was watching like Whitney Houston, the singer. It felt like I was watching Whitney Houston, the actress, you feel me? So that's a testament to her ability to just be a true artist and true to herself, you feel me? And I feel like she played a lot of herself in this movie, just being authentic and being just the real one, you feel me? The one to see through all the bullshit, you feel me? And I fuck with it. I really do. I like the way they represent all of the women in this movie. I like the way they represent just blackness in this movie, from the ups and downs, the different types of people that we see, the different characters that they take on. I like the way that the blackness overall is represented in this movie, because it shows us, the realness without being overly traumatic. You feel me? I know a lot of people like to get on these old movies for being traumatic and not really focusing on too much story. But this is one of those movies that takes, the realism of what black people had to deal with, puts it in a movie, but doesn't oversaturate it in a way where you feel like, this is pushing the limit or this is going too far now. So respect to the cast and crew, respect to Forrest Whitaker for directing this movie and bringing this to life. And, respect to Whitney for making this soundtrack that we still listen to today. You feel me? With that being said, I do want to thank y'all for, sticking around for this video. My overall rating, I ain't gonna lie. If I was to give it a number, movie-wise, we looking in the 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 range. You feel me? If we looking at a grade level, we looking at like a B, maybe high B. You feel me? But that's where I stand at with Waiting to Excel overall, from the actors to the execution to the cinematography, everything, you feel me? Everything. One of the jokes I do have about this movie is that the soundtrack is loud as hell, though. Like, they wanted you to hear every song, in this movie, no matter what. Soundtrack loud as a mug, you feel me? You gonna hear that music. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Make sure y'all tune into the next one. Subscribe, like this video, comment what you guys want to see me review next. And make sure you guys tune in to the next video. Also, follow us on Instagram and all other platforms at Cozy Candids. And yeah, check out the website too, where you can get your merchandise, book photos, shoots, and any other type of service that you guys may need. CozyCandids.com. Check it out. Stay cozy. We're gonna get up with y'all soon.